I welcome everybody. I'm very happy to welcome all of you on our Ukrainian Automotive and Mobility Forum. I want us to begin our work from a minute of silence to give honor and merit to everybody who enables us to work today. I'm ready to open our forum, and I want to welcome and to give a floor for welcome words. I'm very thankful, very grateful to everybody who joined us, also online. But I want to give the first welcome floor to our guest, not a guest, because we are guests here in Lviv. So please, Andriy Moskalenko, first deputy mayor of Lviv. Thank you, dear all. Glory to Ukraine. Thank you for this opportunity to be together with you today. First of all, I want to thank the organizers for gathering so many people online and offline around such an important topic. Even before the beginning of a full-scale invasion, we knew that we calculated that about some thousands of buses are necessary for Ukraine to update the fleet. And the time made the situation even more acute because much of the buses, much of the machines have been destroyed. And we'll discuss it today in Lviv with representatives of other Ukrainian cities as well. That is exactly the time now when we have to very strongly build up our industry and enhance, strengthen it, whilst understanding the international rules, which are very flexible. We understand that the redistribution of automotive market in the world will happen in the nearest years. You'll discuss it, obviously. And the interest of Lviv city is obvious here because it will impact on the economics very strongly, which obviously will impact the cities in Ukraine as well. So Lviv today has a significant amount of automotive industries of different types, but I also want to tell about our national vision. We have to develop our efforts as much as possible. So I thank the colleagues who are generating new ideas now and to have this very important push. Thank you very much.
And I really would like to introduce to you Marek Przeor, team leader clusters DG Grow from European Commission. It's a big honor.
Hello, can you hear me?
It's a big honor that you join us. And Marek, I'm really thankful to you, to everything you do for us, everything you do for Ukraine and for our clusters. Yes, Marek. Sorry for such a pause, but yeah, the floor is yours.
Yes, okay, thank you very much, and thank you very much for your nice words. Actually, it's an honor for me to participate. Sorry, remotely, but this is our time constraints. So first of all, I would like to thank organizers for coming to Lviv and being part of this forum. I want to give you a short opening speech to give you some strategic dimensions of the industrial policy in the EU and where clusters are and how they are in the concept of developing automotive industry in the EU. So basically, what actually is the main strategic direction which is set up by our competitiveness compass, which we published at the beginning of this year. There are three main verticals. The one is that we in the this document is important from the point of view that this is actually setting the scene for all other documents that we are producing or other actions, activities that we are going to take in the next 5 years. Because as you know, last year we had the elections of the European Parliament. We had new Commission for 5 years. So right now, always the European Commission set the strategy goals for 5 years. So here it is, and first and the most important is closing the innovation gap. Clearly, it's about taking on board research activities so that they are reflected in commercial activities. And here we need to catch up a bit, particularly with the US as far as digitalization is concerned. But this is where we see for clusters particularly important role, as clusters are actually this gathering of businesses, but together with researchers. So collaboration between universities and businesses facilitated by the work of cluster coordinators is extremely important here. Another one extremely important is decarbonization and competitiveness. So it's not that this goes in contradiction. On the contrary, we believe that together with cleaner and decarbonization, we are able to build our unique competitiveness value. And then that's why as well we have clusters in the EU which are facilitating the uptake of modern technologies, in particularly in SMEs, and strive for a cleaner production. And then extremely important, particularly after COVID and after Russian aggression on Ukraine, the reducing excessive dependencies and increasing security, which is basically about security, but as well in broader sense, security as well in terms of economic sense, in terms of securing inputs, raw materials, and securing markets. So these are the three main verticals. Of course, there are 5 other enabling horizontal measures that we are going to take. It's the simplifying the regulations for our particularly small and medium enterprises so that they can have less bureaucratic burden, use full potential of the single market. The EU has 450 million habitants, and of course with the European Economic Area and potentially candidate countries, this is going to be even bigger, 25% of the world's GDP. So it's a huge market. It's not fully harmonized, particularly we have still fragmented areas in financing, in energy. So we need to work on this, including services very much. Financing competitiveness, leveraging on private capital, taking private capital on board for realizing the strategic goals of the European Union. Skills, another dimension, skills where, in order to have all this AI, quantum, digital, and clean tech applied, you need to have skillful people. And then coordination, particularly European Union is not a member state, and we need to remember that there are different member states. So coordination at multi-level governance between EU policies and member states and regional dimension to be better coordinated. So this is very strategic, but at the same time, very tangible is what we have in the European Union. We have around 1,500 cluster organizations on our cluster collaboration platform where we animate the activities of these cluster organizations. But it's not about cluster organizations, it's actually about the members of the cluster organizations. And here you have numbers: 140,000 SMEs, 16,000 large enterprises, 13,000 research organizations. It's a huge power of network. You can imagine if they collaborate, work together, do the projects together, how big power it is. And we have started to use this potential for as well with Ukraine, the fact that we have so many clusters. And then we have created, like very initially, 2 years ago, we came with an idea that we need to start integrating the Ukrainian companies within the EU value chains. So we have launched the EU-Ukraine Cluster Partnership Program. It's in construction, digital, renewable energy, health. 14 Ukrainian participants are in this. It's going on. It's 500,000 in basically about capacity building and linking in value chains the Ukrainian and EU companies. And it was when nobody at that time still thought about Ukraine as a candidate country. But we have, as said, since the aggression, Russia aggression on Ukraine, accelerated very much the collaboration. And here you can find what more information on Ukraine business cooperation that we are doing, particularly with the Enterprise Europe network, where Ukrainian partners are there. And we every month organize focus group on Ukraine, where details on collaboration are given, and you can join. You have the QR code. I will send this presentation to Olga so that she can disseminate it. The thing is that as well in the European Cluster Collaboration Platform, we build bridges between the EU clusters and Ukrainian clusters, where particularly important role plays European Clusters Alliance, which is for us and the European Commission partner for clusters in Europe. They are gathering the national cluster associations, and Ukrainian Cluster Association, which was established actually in March 2022, is now part of this. And so it's, of course, easier for us as European Commission to have a structured partner to discussion. Of course, we have other European digital innovation hubs and Erasmus for entrepreneurs. Why I'm saying this? Because actually right now it's more and more that Ukrainian companies and Ukrainian businesses are part of the EU programs, not specific, but general. So they are eligible, and one of them is actually EUROCLUSTERs. So EUROCLUSTERs actually is the program where we aim at linking together cluster organizations so that they collaborate at the EU level and build EU value chains. So here, as you can see, this was the open call for all EU countries, all EU clusters, and as well 4 are from Ukraine at equal footing. We have 16 projects here, 8 Euroclusters particularly dedicated to Net Zero Act and Critical Raw Materials Act, and 8 Euroclusters in different areas. The main point here is really to build a European value chain. So I'm happy that we have the Ukrainian clusters with us on equal footing. And then one particularly relevant for this meeting is the one which is on resilience through sustainable processes and production for the European automotive industry, Resist 2. You can see here the collaboration between Ukrainian automotive cluster and the Polish clusters, the Czech Moravian cluster, the Spanish Galician cluster, and French clusters. So advanced materials. So this is in short the way we are going to pursue our cluster policy. linking clusters from all across Europe in order to build, reshape value chains for clean, more digital Europe. And in all this framework that I've shown, there are nitty-gritty regulations, documents, as well as simplifications going, less reporting for on environment, for example, that was adopted yesterday by the European Parliament, voted. And we had in this more sectoral dimension. So here is the action plan on the future of the automotive sector, which was adopted in March this year. And here again, the objective, particularly for the automotive sector, is reduce dependence on fossil fuels with the very ambition of 2035 non-combustion engines production, reduce production costs to create level playing field, and unleash the industry's innovative power. The main point here actually is about, I would say, very much highlighted the use of digitalization of sensors or IT into embedded in the new cars being data vehicle basically, and of course this all clean and very important here, as you can imagine. 40% of the value of future of cars is batteries. So there's battery boosters, 1.8 billion euro from innovation fund for this purpose. So all of course the now are coming activities in this area, and I believe that why I'm saying so, because there's a huge potential right now for Ukrainian companies, particularly in car industry, in automotive industry, mobile industry, to be involved in the transition of automotive sector. As you might know, automotive sector is 1 trillion euro in Europe, the 7% of GDP, and 13 million employment. So it's a huge, very important part of our economy, and is going through existential, actually, transition right now. At the same time, I want to mention a date which is important, because on 29 October, the Commission announced the entry into force the upgraded EU-Ukraine Deep and Comprehensive Free Trade Agreement. This is the upgrade of the previous autonomous trade measures. But what it means that there is the access to the EU single market open for from Ukrainian companies. So the integration, it is happening. From the point of view of me as a responsible for cluster policy, this goes automatically, logically into linking more and more Ukrainian clusters, develop cluster policy, develop cluster organizations in Ukraine, but as well linking the members of clusters, the companies, small, big, into the collaboration with members of clusters in the EU. And with this, I would like to thank you very much for inviting me. I hope I set a bit the scene for discussions. I know there will be more discussions on the action plan on the on automotive sector, and how you can work together with EU companies. But I hope we will have strong collaboration in the future, and this is, I think, natural process. And when I see how it develops since March 2022, and if it goes so dynamically, I'm convinced, as discussions are here in the new about the new multi-annual financial framework, that next financial perspective will be already with the Ukraine in the European. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Marek. It's a really great pleasure and big honor that you join us. I highly appreciate it, and again, thank you. So right now, I would like to give the floor to Oleksandr Skyrpan from International Organization of Migration, and actually just not to forget to mention that I'm really, really thankful to this organization, because exactly this forum, it's organized in support of International Organization for Migration and funded by the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development through the German Development Bank. So, Oleksandr, thank you so much. And
thank you, Olga. Dear guests, organizers, and participants of the forum, on behalf of the IOM, International Organization of Migration, I'm very happy to welcome you at the Ukrainian Automotive and Mobility Forum. We are ready to support this important event, which unites the state, the businesses, and international partners for the sake of a recovery and development of Ukrainian economy. The support of this event is a part of the project Viability Plus integration of IDPs and victims of the war, which has been financed by German Ministry of Development and Cooperation through the Bank of Development. We are happy. We are very grateful to German partners for this trust and for their vision of recovery of Ukraine, the support. The support of this event, which is very important for automotive industry, is this is one of the 5 cluster organizations supported by providing the grant support, the funds to support and enhance competitiveness of Ukrainian businesses, development of experts, implementation of innovations, and also enhancing cooperation of the participants. In the cluster approach, we do see a powerful instrument to raise efficiency and effectiveness, which unites the initiativeness of business with the support of international partners and the state, and allows to unite resources to achieve a joint common goals. IOM is one of the leading organizations working in Ukraine for recovery of economic activity for expansion of the possibilities of the citizens and development of the communities. We do actively support the development of entrepreneurship, aiming to increase and create new jobs, development of experts and innovation, a renewal and improvement of the economic situation of enterprises, and also the engagement of and support of persons who suffered from the war. Since the beginning of support of Ukrainian business, we have provided support to about 850 enterprises, including grants for renewal and development of production, support of veterans, skilling and reskilling, creation of new jobs, provision of consultations, and organization of numerous events and many other initiatives. Today's initiative is a platform which opens possibility to exchange experience, creation of new business links, and generation of new ideas. So I wish the participants of today's event I wish you development and all the best. Thank you for your attention, and I wish you success in your forum. Wonderful. Thank you very much. And now take into account the fact we are in Lviv now. As you see, the deputy mayor came and opened our forum. I'm also very thankful for the specialized department under the name the Department of Urban Mobility and Infrastructure is here, and the head of this department, Dmytro, Petsiy, also came to our event, and now he will also tell us about the challenges which they do have now. Thank you for the introduction, dear colleagues. I welcome you once more in our magnificent city. And the topic of this presentation is about city mobility. What we do imagine when we hear the word mobility? What's about? First of all, it goes about movement, because meanwhile a person is moving, meanwhile there is a live movement in the city, public transport is working, functioning, and allows our residents to stay mobile, to move between different points. Home to work, home to healthcare facilities and other public services. It all allows the city to live. So a very simple conclusion may be drawn. Mobility is about life. Meanwhile, there is mobility in the city. Meanwhile, the public transport is working. The city is alive. That's why in such a difficult time we are living now, doesn't matter our city is rather remote from the front line. We also have serious challenges in the area of city mobility, which we are trying to cope with all the time. We make an effort not to make worse the services, but even to make them better. Doesn't matter restrictions of budget. We are, I believe many European cities have same difficult conditions. We created special rules. We approved documents which are based on main European models of mobility development. In 2020, our city approved Sustainable Urban Mobility Plan, the plan of sustainable mobility with the clear priorities of how our city will develop mobility. Should be said, first of all, that we are focused, we are oriented on three main priorities in the development of sustainable city mobility, urban mobility. First of all, development of public transport. It is our main priority, which allows to quickly satisfy the demand for the so-called mass transit within our city and agglomeration. And I remind you that our city, together with the nearest areas, has about 1 million residents. So the burden on the transport system is rather high, and our public transport plays a role of that blood system with its circulation by uniting all the sectors of our cities, the industrial ones, sector of services, residential districts, the so-called sleeping districts. And all the residents may have a possibility rather quickly. Also take into account some traffic jams we do have, but they may arrive to their destination. This photo was made in the first months of the year. Not only our city mobility worked in normal mode, but also under emergency mode, when we provided transportation of hundreds of thousands of IDPs of our country with our city buses, those who have left their houses. We used our municipal buses 24 hours a day because people were trains were arriving, bringing hundreds of thousands, for sure 1 million of people to our central railway station, and we have brought all of them in buses to the shelters, to the border of Ukraine, trying to provide such transportation for all of them with our city buses. Hundreds of thousands of passengers were transported very quickly and very fast in a very short time. So we were able to provide this service, and we did it. But later on, doesn't matter the difficult conditions we are living under, we are developing our transport system, we are improving the quality of public transportation services. We are implementing new digital solutions. 2 years ago, at the level of the city, we have introduced the e-ticket. This is the so-called smart ticket reform. For sure, you have visited our city, so you have used our public transportations. You might have seen that you may pay the fare in any way convenient for you. You may use a bank card for payment or any electronic device. You have a smartphone or smartwatch. You may buy our e-card, Leo card, and in this case, the fare will be cheaper. For Leo card owner, the passage will cost 17 hryvnias. For usual banking cards, it's 20 hryvnias. If you pay in cash, the price, the tariff will be the most high, 25 hryvnias. Also, we have implemented monthly limitless pass. After buying it, you may use any type of public transport without limitations. You may ride the whole month. As you see, over 350,000 Leo cards have been issued and 170,000 general cards, common cards. And we have provided about 1,000 validators. It's not easy. It costs money, and our city also spends a significant part of budget to provide for equality work of our transport and to provide also possibility for vulnerable residents to use it. As you see, there are 350,000 Leo cards with discount for vulnerable populations. For 1 million city, it means something. So you can buy an ordinary card, Leo card, and you may pay just 17 hryvnias per passage instead of 20 or 25. Let's move ahead. This is a little bit of information of introduction of e-ticket, how we have moved from the very start when we had the maximum amount of payment in cash. And you can see the dynamics. The cash payment decreased and almost the whole sphere of public transport is working on cashless payments. There are just 8-9%, mainly the newcomers or the visitors of the city who pay in cash. We did it consciously. We are bringing the cash out of this sphere because using cashless forms of payment allows to transparently see everything. And we see the cash as well because all the travels of a passenger are shown, are reflected in e-ticket system. And after implementation of this transparent way, the income of the transport companies increased by up to 50%. It allows to buy new transport means, and the companies now can invest into quality. Last year, the private companies have bought 50 low floor used but very good buses, and the city bought 50 of such transports as well. The cities of Bern and Basel in Switzerland, also Berlin city, have supplied us about 500 trams, used one but in very good condition. So we want to stimulate, to motivate sustainable, environmentally friendly, clean forms of mobility, trams, trolleybuses, etc. And also to use this urban transport, not to use private transport services. We have certain successes in achieving this goal. In the beginning of this reform 2 years ago, we had 1.7 million of average weekly numbers of users of public transport just in 1 year. this figure is higher, and we have, as you see, the average number of passengers in the transport, public transport, 2.7 million. It increases significantly. We are updating or renewing many routes which have been neglected due to COVID, due the beginning of the war. We are updating continuously the municipal transport. We have purchased new buses for often medium capacity, passenger capacity, to go in the routes of our amalgamated territorial communities. Also, we bought many buses financed by European investment banks. We develop mechanisms on how to increase the number of electric transport, because our priority is, as you know, our green future, to reduce greenhouse emissions, and we are striving to develop the tram network. We plan to extend the tram route number 6, which unite the center of the city with Boken district, and we plan to replace the diesel buses working in that route by a tram. The air will be cleaner, and the commuting for our residents will be more user-friendly. And we plan also to have to increase the fleet of hybrid trolleybuses, which allows to travel certain time without availability of a contact network of the. Our next quest is informing the passenger. There are several applications working in the city which allow to quickly see at any moment of time where any unit of transport is found, and you can buy a ticket through this application. You can plan your travel, and we also develop our strategy Green Mobility Lviv 2030. A component of it is a green transport. And as a little conclusion, it is our goal, our mobility, the public transport, and we're doing all possible for it to be in line with the dignity of our people, for the transport to be convenient, comfortable, for it to travel timely, to provide the transportation of our residents. But on top of that, we also work on the expanding of a bicycle network. Our city has 140 kilometers of bicycle roads, but we have challenges in this area because it is fragmented. We are now working to unite all the parts of our city into a single so-called closed network, which would allow the bicyclists to move without intersecting with car traffic, to move one end of the city to another, and to stimulate the residents to use the bicycle not as an entertainment mean, but as a transport mean. And we do plan to develop relevant hubs where there will be bicycle parking, so you can leave your bicycles there and take any other transport of your convenience. So we are moving ahead, and we call you, urge you to join us. Thank you for your attention, and have a good day. Thank you very much. It was really very interesting, and I'm very thankful to you for joining to our forum. It's not the first time we have this forum, but I am very grateful to you that your department has become our partner as well. Thank you very much. Now I want to introduce to you a very great person, very important person, Angela Mans.
Angela, I would like to introduce you and to our forum.
So can you hear me?
Angela. Just a second. Yes, we see you. And I'm really happy to see you always. Sorry that we didn't join this year EAA because previous 3 years we were at EAA. And yeah, and hopefully, probably next year we will join you. Thank you so much again for your attitude, for your support, for being with us, to speaking with us, and yeah, and I'm looking forward for your speech because, of course, we saw a lot of news what is happening right now in automotive industry in Germany and all over the world. So the floor is yours. Thank you so much for joining us.
Olga, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really happy to be part of this important program. And as you know, VDA and our president, Hildegard Müller, best regards from her, we always try to support as good as we can the Ukrainian automotive industry, and with this also the whole industry and the Ukraine as a whole. Yeah, thank you so much. And I would like to mention, I was listening to the presentation on public transport. It was very interesting for me because in Germany we have a lot of challenges as well in public transport, especially with trains. And it's good to see that we have common challenges and that yeah, the implementation of public transport is very important, even for the automotive industry, which I represent. Let me see. I'm trying to. Okay, now it's still the first slide, right? You can see. So I will try to move. Yeah, exactly. Now you can see what VDA represents. We do not only present the manufacturers of passenger cars and commercial vehicles, also like buses, but also, of course, the very important suppliers, which is the main group, yeah, about 600 member companies. And today they have their annual assembly also in Berlin. So it's a good day for the supplier industry. And here again, you can see our three groups, yeah, how we are organized in Germany. The association represents really the whole value chain. And as I mentioned before, I'm always very happy to work, especially with the cluster, with Olga, and we already had some webinars and some common conferences, and of course the IIA transportation and IIA mobility. And I really hope that in 2026 you will be there with a pavilion and we can make things together. So the next slide, I only wanted to highlight in what kind of situation we are at the moment. As an industry, as people, it's really a time of geopolitical tensions, and this has a lot. It's not only the consequences for every one of us personally, but also for the industry. The international trade is not as it was before. Yeah, when 10 years ago it was about globalization and cooperation and having production abroad and doing trade. And now we have a lot of tensions. If you look at the US or if you look at China, everywhere you can see it's not like it was before. And therefore it's even more important, yeah, to have reliant partners. And I think this is a huge chance also for the Ukraine and Germany and the European Union, of course, as Marek explained before, yeah, to cooperate in these times. And we can, I mean, Marek already explained it. It's the European Union with this trade agreements. It's a very good partner to have business with, because we have this field, we have this huge network of trade agreements also with the Ukraine, where our members and you can make business, and we think it's very important to keep up trade, to support trade, and not to look only internally and building walls. Yeah, this is about the trade relation between the Ukraine. Marek mentions it already, and I just wanted to mention WTO with 2 words. It's also very important that we look at this rule-based trade, and this is my question to you. Please also support this multilateral system, as you really, I mean, when we lose it, we will know how important it was and how much it helped for our business. So it's something we should really have a look at, and reforms are needed, but it's important. In Germany, as I mentioned, we are really on a worldwide basis. Yeah, we have more than 2,000 production plants abroad. And for those of you who are Ukrainian companies, you're really very much welcome to contact VDA, to get in contact with our members, and maybe support them, be it in Germany or any other production plant. So you can be sure that with a German partner, you have like a worldwide basis somehow. I also brought you some figures about the automotive industry. I make it very short. Luckily, we are back at pre-COVID levels on a worldwide basis. Yeah, so we assume that we will have more than 81 million cars produced this year, and next year even a little bit more. So the automotive industry is again a growing industry, which is a very important message for us. Yeah, this is a very interesting slide, which shows you that in the overall sense, Germany as a production place has lost over the time. You can see that the production abroad was growing, especially until Corona times. And now it's more than double than the local production, which is around 4 million. And the production abroad, we expect to have about 9 million cars this year. It's a little bit of a slowdown if you look abroad, but still very, very much international, what our members do on a worldwide basis. In Germany itself, yeah, we see a rise in the production of electric cars, which is very important, and of course the combustion engine goes down, so this the transformation is fully ongoing, even if we had some difficult times in selling the electric cars since the financial support from the government was going down. Yeah, you can also see that it's rising in Germany, but abroad, and this is mainly also due to China. It goes down a little bit, but our forecast is that, of course, the future lies in e-mobility and maybe hybrids, but it's a clear way we are going. All in all, our market in Germany, if you're interested in the figures, yeah, it's less than the average. You can see it was around 3 million between 2013 and 2023, and since then it's below the 3 millions. Yeah, so our market is not growing a lot, and we can be happy if we reach the 2.8 at the end of this year. Yeah, this last slides to show the trade figure, the automotive trade figure between Germany and the Ukraine. Yeah, it's still like this, that Germany has a huge trade surplus, but the trade, the parts, especially the automotive parts and accessories coming from the Ukraine to Germany, it's at least rising. Yeah, it's a rising figure. And it's rising for a long time. So even during the war, it did not go down. I think this is a good sign, but of course, it's a lot of potential. These are the latest figures from 2025, the first half. And even there, we have a plus. But of course, it's much more potential. And to reach out this potential, I want to show you a database. I'm also happy to share the slides after your conference, so you can only click at it and find the right way. So we have this company database and cooperation portal, Automotive Collab. It might be interesting for you, so I'm happy to share this information. You can find, for example, companies producing in the Ukraine or in any other place of the world. I can also recommend the information of GTIE, German Trade and Invest. They have very good information on Germany and also on other markets. By the way, we also use it a lot. And of course, Olga, please consider our next IIA transportation. It will take place from 15th to 20th in Hanover, and it will be the IIA, which is for commercial vehicles, transportation, public transportation, and so on, logistics, so everything which has to do with it, and not only for OEMs, but also for suppliers. And I really would appreciate if we have an Ukrainian pavilion again, and hopefully also in 27 again in Munich at IAA Mobility, which is for passenger cars. Yeah, I will close with this picture from the Ukrainian pavilion at IAA, and thanks again, and I really wish you have a great conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Angela, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you in person and of course to join ER Transportation in Hanover. Thank you so much, and again, looking forward to seeing you again. Thank you. So our next speaker, which I also would like to and honor to introduce to you, is Bruno Grandjean. Bruno, are you here? Yes, and very good. Thank you so much. Bruno, we see you, and we are looking forward to your speech. Actually, Bruno, we know from European Automotive Cluster Network, which were established in 2020, and Ukrainian Automotive and Mobility Cluster is one of actually co-founder, if I'm not mistaken. And from that period, I'm trying to be also active in this European Automotive Cluster Network. But I'm also very proud to say that from this year, Ukrainian Automotive and Mobility Cluster is a part of EUROCLUSTERs. And EUROCLUSTERs is really already a bigger, right, than just one cluster. It's clusters from Spain to Ukraine. And Bruno, who has experience in a previous version of EUROCLUSTERs, would like also to share with us opportunities for you, for businesses on EUROCLUSTERs. And of course, to say a bit about European Automotive Cluster Network. Thank you, Bruno, again for joining us, and looking forward for your speech. Thank you. We don't hear you, just a second. say something again? No, we don't hear you at all. And it looks like, yeah, probably it's on your side. Oh, now it's better.
Is it better like this?
Yes, yes, perfect.
Okay.
Perfect, Bruno.
Sorry for that. So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very pleased and honored to have been invited to talk to you, and unfortunately only by video conferencing. So I am Bruno Grandjean, president of EACN, the European Automotive Cluster Network, and I am also managing director of a French automotive cluster called Pôle Véhicules du Futur. As you may know, EACN is the network of the clusters active in the field of automotive, transport, mobility in Europe. And of course, the Ukrainian Automotive and Mobility Cluster is a member, and I may say an active and dynamic one. Thank you, Olga. EACN was started 8 years ago and now has 34 members from 17 European countries, totaling more than 4,000 companies. We have members in the Baltic states, in Turkey, in Great Britain, Portugal, in Finland, and nearly everywhere in Europe. We exchange knowledge and try to boost cooperation and synergies between members to secure their long-term success. And as you mentioned, a good example of this is what we did in the Resist project. We had a first version, which was financed before, but thanks to contacts within the network, we had the opportunity to invite the Ukrainian Automotive Mobility Cluster to join the consortium. As you said, together with partners from Spain, Poland, and Czech Republic, and also my own cluster in France, part of the EUROCLUSTER initiative. And I'm happy to announce that as part of this project, starting in May 2026, we are going to launch cascade funding calls to fund projects from SMEs related to net zero technologies and also critical raw materials. So if you have projects related to these two topics, net zero technologies and critical raw materials, stay in contact with Olga and her teams. There will be opportunities for you to fund projects. It will be small projects around 50,000 euro. I think the call for projects have not been written yet, but it will be the kind of project, very small things to write, very little things to write, and efficient. Normally it will be like that, so it's a good opportunity for project funding. I also wanted to add that as part of the network, I have the opportunity to talk to people from all over Europe, and nowadays, everywhere, executives from the automotive industry say the same thing. The European automotive industry is currently under very, very intense economic pressure, a pressure that comes on top of the challenges posed by technological transitions. We have to find a way to decarbonize our vehicle fleet in order to avoid a global medium-term disaster. But at the same time, we need to protect our industry from external forces that could destroy it altogether if we do nothing. This is the raison d'être of the efforts of the network's member clusters, which are doing their utmost to support their members, even in difficult times, at the local level, but also through coordination at the European level. And for this respect, again, your automotive mobility cluster here in Ukraine is very active. We all dream of making Ukraine resemble the European Union, but currently have the impression that the other way around is also true. For better or for worse, the European Union looks more and more like Ukraine, with more and more automotive companies now contemplating the possibility to shift to defense, which would have been absolutely unthinkable only 2 years ago. We Europeans were like free-range organic chickens. We were content to scratch the ground and lay eggs. And then the fox came, and then the chickens discovered that the farmer who was supposed to protect them also intended to put them in the pot, and then the grain began to run out. Europe, and the European automotive industry in particular, is currently going through a period of great turmoil. But the good news is that we are finally beginning to collectively address issues we had, but did not know we had. It's difficult, but we are going to make it. And I would like to end my speech on a personal note. I'm not quite young. I began my military service before the fall of the Berlin Wall. And I still remember the moment when we were told that our life expectancy on the battlefield as tank crew members was less than 10 minutes. You in this room or members of your family were the ones I was instructed to fear. And now we are partners, and we are happy to occasionally share a beer or a European project. And I have no doubt that this time again, we will make it. Thank you for your attention and take care. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bruno. And again, it's a big honor to be part of European Automotive Cluster Network, Resist, and I'm really happy and thankful that you join us. Just to mention that actually Bruno, he's a very experienced director of a cluster, probably one of the biggest cluster in Europe, and definitely the biggest automotive cluster in Europe. Thank you so much. I'm always, trying to learn from you. And again, I'm very thankful that you join us. And now, as far as you know, we are right now talking not only about separate companies, not about separate cities, but we definitely talk about ecosystems. I really would like to give the floor to ecosystem which actually we belong to, and organization who is trying, to warming up such an ecosystem. It's EIT Urban Mobility, European Institute for Innovation and Technology. And this time, Ulyana Vynyarchuk joined us. Thank you so much, Ulyana. Thank you for opportunity to join us. And yeah, we are looking forward for your speech and what you are ready to share with us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Olga. It's my big pleasure to present and represent EIT Urban Mobility here today. My name is Ulyana Vynyarchuk. As you mentioned, I'm the City Development and Funding Officer based in our Munich office, and I'm stepping here today for my colleague, Pavel Verba. So Pavel is not able to be here, but he sends warm regards from Prague. And the 17th of November is a very special day for him. It's a national day of freedom and democracy in the Czech Republic. It reminds us all that progress and innovation rely on courage, something that Ukraine demonstrates every day. This makes our discussion today even more important. For those of you who are not familiar with our institution, EIT Urban Mobility is a European initiative working to accelerate transition towards sustainable urban mobility in cities. So what we do as an institution, we have created, as you rightly mentioned, an innovation ecosystem in which we bring together established businesses, startups, universities, research institutions, public sector, specifically cities from all over Europe, to provide access first to markets, talent, funding, and knowledge. Our mission is to empower partners to develop and deploy innovative solutions that address the mobility challenges. So far, since we are relatively new, since 2019, we have supported more than 350 innovation projects in more than 150 European cities. So let me go straight to how this all relates to mobility, reconstruction, and the growing role of Ukraine in Europe's innovation and industrial landscape. So first of all, mobility is not only transport, it's a foundation of recovery and long-term growth. For Ukraine today, and I'm sure you all know it, mobility has 4 essential functions. It keeps the economy running, especially logistics and industry, supports citizens through access to work, education, critical services. It strengthens its resilience, especially in cities under pressure, and it accelerates European integration through aligned standards and systems. Mobility is not a secondary topic, and I hope we can all agree here. It's one of the strategic pillars of reconstruction. And we as EAT Mobility are here best positioned to connect the right partners, support good ideas, and scale what works. We already have some great cooperation with the Ukrainian partners. A great example here is our work with the Ukrainian Automotive and Mobility Cluster, which has shown impressive organization, vision, and energy. This partnership is one of the strongest bridges between Ukraine and Europe in the mobility sector. We also cooperate strongly with the city of Lviv, the host of this event, with whom we have already explored opportunities for pilot project, knowledge exchange, and innovation activities. So Lviv is a city with a strong capacity for innovation deployment, even under very difficult conditions. We have also worked with universities, small and medium enterprises, innovators, several cities in previous calls for proposals and some of our programs. However, we are convinced this is still only a small part of what Ukraine can offer. So we believe that potential is much larger. And why we believe this is the case? First of all, Ukraine has high quality engineering talent, strong universities, active clusters, motivated cities, and startups that continue to innovate during the war. Europe needs this energy, and Ukraine should become more present in European programs. So in 26-27, we are really looking forward to seeing many more Ukrainian partners participating in our EAT urban mobility calls, education activities, pilots, and accelerators. There are 4 areas where we believe a deeper cooperation can take place. First of them is industrial and innovation cooperation. Ukraine's industrial and engineering capacity is impressive. What we want to is to connect Ukrainian manufacturers with European mobility value chains, co-develop new technologies with clusters, transfer know-how and best practice, build long-term industrial partnerships. This is not about potential. This is something that's already happening today, and we saw this from previous presentations. We simply want to scale it. A second area is city-led deployment. As I mentioned, cities are also central for us. Cities are where innovation solutions become reality. So what we are looking for to support is mobility pilots that address specific city needs, like sustainable transport solutions, for instance, data-driven planning, and long-term system. The city of Lviv stands out as a strong partner, already demonstrating capacity for innovation and deployment. We want to continue and expand this cooperation. The third area, which is also very important for us, is startups and investments. Ukrainian startups are resilient, fast, and creative. So what we are looking for here is to bring them into European accelerators, to connect them with European cities and industry, prepare the ground for investment when the time is right for them, and support technologies with real scaling potential. The last, but not least, area is universities and talent development. Universities are essential for long-term transformation. We aim to connect Ukrainian universities with leading European mobility research, support student mobility and exchange, involve Ukrainian researchers and students in pilots, but also include academic talent into EAT urban mobility projects. This is an investment not only in mobility, but in the next generation of experts. So looking ahead, Ukraine has a unique opportunity. It's not rebuilding old systems, it's designing mobility for the 21st century. a system that is clean, digital, efficient, and resilient. And the one that, of course, European cities will learn from. As EAT Urban Mobility, we want to support this endeavor through programs, funding, knowledge, partnerships, and long-term cooperation. So on behalf of EAT Urban Mobility, I would like to once again say thank you to the hosts of the conference, Ukrainian Automotive and Mobility Cluster, but also to the city of Lviv, which is my home ground, and emphasize that we stand with Ukraine. So we really want to work with Ukrainian cities, companies, clusters, universities, but also innovators. And we are committed for a long-term partnership. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ulyana, and we're also actually very looking forward for such a long-term partnership, and you're welcome to Ukraine and to Lviv city next time. Thank you. And now we are actually moving to another section of our forum, which is actually dedicated to not just education, but also skills, skilling and reskilling. And I would like to introduce to you Jakub Stolfa, a president of Automotive Skills Alliance. And I'm also very happy that Ukrainian Automotive and Mobility Forum is a member of Automotive Skills Alliance. And each time you organize any visits or events, it's so interesting and really impressive that we are really happy to be part of your organization, and of course looking forward for your speech.
Thank you very much, Olga. I hope you can hear me and you can see the screen, everybody. Oh, screen is coming, great. Thanks a lot, and unfortunately, I was not able to come in person today, but I'm happy and honored to be here today, at least online. And as said by the previous speaker, I represent here today the Belgium and the European organization, and based in Belgium, and the alliance around all the Europe. But I'm originally coming from the Czech Republic, and today in Czech Republic, where I also teach at the university, as you can see on the slide, is the National Day of celebrating the Velvet Revolution, when we got our freedom from the regime in Moscow. So we really feel with you from Czech Republic, and it's a fight for all of us. So let's go to the skills revolution in the automotive mobility ecosystem. As said, I'm the president of the Automotive Skills Alliance. But before we will get there, it was already said today, the automotive sector is undergoing the huge transformation, and I believe I do not need to go further into the details, what it is and what the sector is. And if we are looking at EU's automotive sector as such, it employs directly and indirectly around 13 million of Europeans all around, and of course we can count also then the Ukraine, and it has the multiplier effect, and to the other sectors such as steel, chemical, textile, batteries, ICT, chips, repair, and you name it. So when you go, and the sector is basically the downstream for the many other sectors, and with this in mind, it's also the sector with a huge R&D spending in automotive, in around 1/3 of the expenditures as such. And this, of course, goes further with the transformation and with the need and impact of the transformation to the skills, job roles, education and training as such. You can see on the slide the latest outcomes of our sector skills intelligence that we have developed in the TRIREMA project under the collaboration of the Automotive Skills Alliance. And you can see, of course, that the transformation is driven by the digitalization, AI impact, and of course also the electrification. And this goes to high demand of robotic engineers, AI specialists, and the AI impact goes also throughout all the value chain. So you can be speaking about the AI impact in the product development. You can be speaking about the AI impact in the product production, and all the other parts. And of course, this goes together with the data analysis. And then, of course, the decline of the traditional skills within the, for instance, the assembly line and others. You can see, of course, also from the community, what is the impact nowadays and where are the job losses. And without upskilling, we cannot withstand. We cannot withstand the innovation, and we cannot withstand the transformation of the sector. It goes throughout all the levels. If it's the worker, blue collar, or if it's the white collar workers. We have a need for skills and job roles in terms of course, software-defined vehicles, so programming, data, cybersecurity in the embedded systems. We also need, for instance, for the automated and autonomous vehicle technologies, for AI experts, sensors, robotics, and others. But of course, also electrification, so you can see the growth on the battery technologies, recycling, diagnostic, raw materials processing, and following the whole battery value chain. Then, of course, also circular economy with the new roles of end-of-life vehicle management, sustainability material, and recycling, and of course, regulatory compliances. So we are calling, of course, for the systemic development and supporting it with the pieces of puzzle. As also Olga said, different events, different also actions that we do in the Automotive Skills Alliance. But we are also calling for permanent national regional centers for skills intelligence to really know where we are heading to. Then the Europe-wide and the worldwide recognition throughout the micro-credentials, modular education and training systems, and involve the companies as much as in designing the training content. With all that, we tackle also the topics of the lifelong access challenges. Because with this speed of transformation, and this will, of course, last with the impact of the digitalization, there is a huge need of the upskilling, reskilling within the whole life course of the person. So lifelong learning is very important, and not for the person as such, for the worker as such, but also for the education and training system. This is the strand that needs to be supported further. Then we need to invest to that, and we need to have VT schools, universities, and others supporting the lifelong learning programs and offers. Because many, for instance, vocational training programs are outdated, missing the digital and battery content. And we have also the fragmented systems in the high mobility and qualifications. And that's something that we tackle in the Automotive Skills Alliance, which is the large-scale Back4 Skills partnership in the automotive mobility ecosystem. We were officially announced and launched by the Commission in November 2020. On the way, we have become also the legal entity, as mentioned, based in Brussels as non-profit organization from January 22 by Car Manufacturers Association, suppliers, and others. We have now more than 120 members, including, of course, European Automotive Cluster and Olga, and very active partner. And we have also on board industry, irrespective of size, education and training providers, universities, VET schools, lifelong learning providers, research, social partners, and public authorities from the different countries, and representing also the regions. We collaborate internally on our structure of the different working groups, but also we initiate, mainstream, and support the different projects, as you can see on the right side of the slide. If it's focused on the creation of the new training course, or if it's focused on the delivery, or finding the new ways of the collaboration and delivery of the training courses, or micro-credentials, as you can see, Auto-Credify, or building the centers of vocational excellence, for instance, as in the Voltage project in 5 regions. As the Automotive Skills Alliance, we have also the strategic collaboration with Automotive Regions Alliance and Committee of Regions Automotive Intergroup. And we are members of different organizations. As the voice of the automotive skills agenda, we are, of course, supporting the EC level collaboration. So you can see we were the part of the strategic dialogue for the automotive and setting up the strategic perspectives. Action plan was already mentioned at today's conference, so I will not deep dive. I will just highlight the parts on skills and social dimension, where you can see this is, of course, recognized that more is needed, but the work is being done there. So I'm very happy to see that there is a Union of Skills strategy, and targeted support for the automotive sector in the implementation. With this, of course, Union of Skills, which came out the same day as the action plan for automotive, as the Pact for Skills partnership, I would like to highlight here that the Pact for Skills partnership is visible there and seen for the strategic sectors, bringing the sector-specific solutions. That's what we are doing. And we will tackle even more with the fragmentations of the different initiatives to streamline them to bring the real impact to the automotive or the different sectoral industries and stakeholders. With this, the Automotive Skills Alliance is looking, of course, at the networking, but bringing the tangible and real solutions in skills intelligence, in the best practices, fundraising, but also the education solutions. And it's the voice of the automotive skills agenda throughout. We have also different tools that I will get there later on. But with the best practices sharing, I just wanted to highlight a couple of events, if I still may. We organize these study visits, which of course, as said, Olga was part of some of them. And it's something that is also the good practice that that we can share and we can organize jointly. We were, for instance, in Stuttgart in Germany, in the Bosch and Mercedes. We were in Grandes in Renault. We were in Timișoara recently in Fovia Hella, in Continental Aumovio nowadays. And basically directly speaking with people responsible and also HR directors about their challenges and their solutions, how they collaborate, for instance, with the universities, secondary schools, where they take the training courses and others. So that's one of our series of events which we organize. Also another one, which is focused more for the teachers at the secondary schools, but for anybody who is interested, we have already organized and co-organized series of battery VET forums where teachers and others go to 3-day on-site and learning how this is being done. We were, for instance, this year in Ostrava in Czech Republic in the Hyundai production plant. We have seen also the battery assembly a couple of years ago in Škoda in Czech Republic, but you can see we were also 2 times in a gigafactory in Sweden. The similar VET forum we organize also in the way of the hydrogen technologies. So already 2 iterations of that in Spa in Belgium. Now gathering the skills intelligence, where do we go? What is needed? Of course, we all know about it. I'm saying impact of AI and saying, of course, impact of digitalization here and there, and mention a couple of skills and job roles. But that's something that we put together from all these collaborations to so-called reference automotive mobility competence metrics to serve as the reference basis what is needed for the companies, for the education and training sector, to really know what is needed and how they can update their curricula. And also this reference competence metrics serves as the reference for the recognition of the different skills. And with that, I would like to also encourage you, you can see the QR code on the slide. We have also released in Trireme project, which is this blueprint project where 31 partners of the Automotive Skills Alliance collaborate and also update the skills intelligence, this competence metrics. We have released the latest release of the new job roles that are needed for the automotive sector. It's open now for the public consultation. So please really have a look at that. Scan the dinosaur there at the bottom of the slide and have a look at those job roles. Each job roles this contains the description. What it needs contains the direct skills and of course knowledge on the different levels which is needed. And last but not least, if you still allow me 1-2 minutes, it's the tools. And I wanted to share with you another QR codes, but which leads you to the tools which we are building. And this is a skills hub. It's a catalog of the different training courses because there are different and of course very good practices that might be offered, for instance, to Ukraine or anywhere else. And with this catalog, we are putting that together for the use of the automotive mobility sector and pioneering this solution of automotive mobility ecosystem academy. On the one hand, building the competence metrics as already introduced. And on the other hand, building the catalog of anything what exists whenever it is, if it's free, paid, online, on-site, any type of course might be linked by the provider to this database. By now, we have already a couple of strategic collaborations and more than 400 courses offered there. We are already issuing micro-credentials that as the addition to the recognition of any kind of certificate that the courses have. We have universities on board, we have VET schools, but we have also other lifelong learning providers or academies that are joining this movement and offering their training courses also throughout the Skills Hub. As a part of that, and I would like to also invite you to another tool, which is from the ecosystem of the Skills Hub. One of the Skills Hub's providers is the learning platform, which we have created to host the online courses that are created from the different initiatives within the network of the Automotive Skills Alliance. You can see it's very small there, but you can see use of artificial intelligence, for instance, from the Resist project. You can see also Innovation Agent, for instance, from Trofymova project. And all these courses are freely available. Anybody can see them and go through the course. With that, receive the micro-credentials from Skills Hub ecosystem and have recognized skills that he achieved. You can see all the different training areas that we have there. So please, again, I encourage you to scan the QR code and get to the learning platform to see all the different free online courses and something that we already offer as from the community to the community as the part of this transformation. With the last words, it goes to the conclusions. And why is all this needed? We are in the new era of education and training. This is impacting all the sectors and all the education and training at all levels. It's of course much more faster need of the adaptation, different ways of the education and training delivery. Then you can be looking also, of course, at the effectiveness of the delivery. Then you are looking, of course, also at the lifelong learning and ensuring this basically motivation to learn throughout the whole your life course. So we need to bring fast, effective, and pragmatic industry-oriented solutions to pilot and support the systematic change in Europe, while of course building the great work done in the different countries and supporting the overall strategy. And that's of course throughout the Europe, including Ukraine. We need all actors collaborating at all levels, if it's industry, research, but also mentioned today's, and I'm very happy for European Automotive Cluster Network to being a partner of our Automotive Skills Alliance. So we need also clusters. We need also clusters, of course, at the European level. We need clusters also on the national or regional levels. We need all stakeholders actively involved to collaborate to bring these solutions. Thanks a lot for your attention. It was a pleasure to be there, at least online at your conference, and I wish you a nice rest of the day.
Thank you so much, Jakub. And me personally, I participate in your platform quite actively. I really like all trainings which are there. And and we are looking forward for probably joint projects which we applied for, and hopefully we could announce it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jakub.
Thank you very much.
And now actually exactly to going further on this topic as reskilling and education, I also would like to say that it was a big honor and pleasure to become a member of our Ukrainian Automotive and Mobility Cluster, a member of European Apprenticeship organization. And Vitalina Babenka, who unfortunately couldn't join us offline, but joined us online. She will say about her story, how she actually personally represented our cluster in Podgorica, and she received this certificate of participants at this forum. So Vitalina, the floor is yours.
can hear me and see my presentation. Dear audience, first and foremost, I would like to greet everybody, and I'd like to thank you, Olga, and all organizing committee for such a great opportunity to take part in such thought-provoking and inspiring event.
Але ти можеш також розмовляти українською, я думаю.
But you may speak Ukrainian as well. Thank you. Let me introduce myself. I am professor of the University of Radio Electronics, and also I am the professor of Kharkov National University of Automotive and Road Construction University. Recently, this university become a part of the team, become a member of Ukrainian Automotive and Mobility Cluster. And this year, in October, we also visited the relevant webinar organized by the European Alliance on Vocational Education, EACN, and also the European Fund of European Alliance for Apprenticeships and European Training Foundation. Let me rather briefly talk about this event. I should say that this year, Ukraine, for the first time, became a member of this association. I mean the European Apprenticeships Alliance and the European Fund of Education. And this event was conducted in Podgorica, 7th, 8th October in Montenegro. By the way, we see rather high representation on this webinar, on this workshop, and we see that Ukraine was rather broadly represented here, and a rather strong organizational support was there with the support of European Commission, which was presented by Beatrice Rinaldi. And new members were of the European Alliance were awarded with, and it was a special pleasure that the Ukrainian delegation was represented also by the representations from the Ministry of Education and Science and also from our university. Very briefly, that was the main event I would like to inform about to such an important audience. On my behalf, I want to add that doesn't matter that it is rather that they work in rather in difficult conditions, but the Ukrainian science shows significant results, both in the scientific sphere and in the practical area. So Ukraine is above all. That is the slogan which was supported by Ukrainian community together with our university and Ukrainian Automotive Cluster and also with our European colleagues. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much, Vitalina. We are missing you, but I hope next time everything will be good and we shall see you more than once. But in continuation of this topic on education and skills, I want to give the floor to Alexei Ovcharenko from the university, from the only one university in Ukraine specialized on automotive industry. So we are very happy that you joined us and on our forum. So please, Alexei. Thank you for this opportunity. I welcome everybody who joined such an interesting and important event. And I would like to introduce to you our university, the Kharkiv National University of Automobile Roads Construction. I am the chair of the Department for Bridges Construction. A few words about our university and the projects we are developing and participating in. First of all, above 7,000 students are learning in our university. Over 100 of them are foreign students. Over 200 teachers work in our university, 6 departments and 20 laboratories. Our university moves towards improvement the quality of the education on one side, on the other side, innovations from the position of scientific achievements, also for international projects. The Scientific and Training Center for Industrial Technologists works in our university where the students have practice, and there is very important synergy between study project, research activity, and also the real practice, which can be got by the students here. The Scientific Center for Industrial Technologies of the university. We are very tightly cooperating with Trimble company on 3D scanning of the geodesic quadrocopters I used. The specialists of the university are using this scanner very broadly in the building, in the construction, geodesics in the industry, and rescue and security operations. Our university is engaged in those as well. Few words about the partnership programs we are ready to cooperate on. We are developing, and in which direction do we develop? First of all, there is automation and computer technologies. And here we should mention, first of all, the AI and automotive industry. We are talking about cars, and we shouldn't forget about AI in the infrastructure because this is being developed. The sensors on the bridges and the infrastructure of the road is also a dynamic organism which is changing continuously. So we have to have synergy. We have to embed AI into the automotive industry and into the road building industry. Also, the road building equipment, logistics, academic mobility. Our students and teachers do continuously have courses of raising qualification, upskilling, take part in international projects in the staging. We are talking about automation, and it includes automation of the education as well, of the learning. When we introduce different virtual laboratories, there is possibility, and we are dealing with this for serious games, gamification, when we are enlarging and we embedding gamification into the laboratory works. Our university invites everybody to join us. We are open for cooperation. We are looking for the partners continuously. We are developing our activity, improving our activity we already providing. So I invite everybody to the partnership. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining.